So there you see that little blue bot with the safety clamp on it. That is Radix.
It does fundamentals very well.
Yeah.
On December 5th, Radix went to Norwalk, Connecticut to compete against the 27 best 3-pound combat robots from the 2025 NHRL season. I came in with a new design, one complete robot, and a dream: to bring home the Golden Brett. I have made so many changes to this robot, more than any previous revision. The brushed motors were replaced with fast and light brushless motors, the Blitz lights. The wheels were upgraded to have cast rubber tires for extra grip. The mount of the drivetrain was more robust than the direct wheel-to-motor mount I had used in the past, and used thick aluminum axles. And finally, I had a new armor package. Steel pins in the front protected my bot against horizontal spinners, and titanium plates on the top protected me against top attack robots. The new anti-horizontal armor would be tested in my first match of the day. I was up against Monkfish, an iconic shuffling undercutter with the blade the size of my bot and a conscience the size of a mustard seed. I mean, just look at those eyes. I was using my new S-blade with the hope that the high rake angle could damage the TPU shufflers. This blade is also lighter, which means it's easier to drive with. My biggest disadvantage this fight? Practice. Not owning a test cage of my own, I had not driven this version of Radix while the weapon was spinning outside of safety the previous day. Was this an issue for me? Did my new horizontal armor package hold up? Let's watch the tape.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Fight, robots, fight.
All right, so Aiden has a good weapon type to go up against Monkfish, but will his driving be able to stand up against Rachel de Guzman's? She knows how to operate this bot incredibly well.
Horizontal versus horizontal, but for those that don't know, Monkfish gets to weigh. And it gets to weigh a little extra because it shuffles instead of drives.
Tap
Radix is tap out already! And that's the fight. Monkfish got behind Radix.
So, ironically, the anti-horizontal armor actually made my robot more susceptible to horizontal attacks. Monkfish's blade pierced my nose and struck the bottom of the pins, pushing them up. Instead of needing to cut through TPU and steel to get through to my pulley, they just needed to cut through the TPU. The extra TPU I added under the nose also got pushed down into my weapon, jamming it. With the weapon down, I tapped out to avoid further damage, since we were still in the qualifying stage of the day and I wouldn't be eliminated yet. Other than the nose being damaged, Monkfish had pierced into my weapon assembly and damaged my pulley. Swapping the pulley and filing the sharp edges off of the aluminum weapon mount only took a minute. The bigger question when it came to the repair was whether I should do a full frame swap or not. My second match of the day was technically a win already, automatically awarded by how the buy rounds fed through the qualifying stage. I had hours before my next opponent. However, the new Radix is also harder to repair. Instead of taking 20 minutes to rebuild, it takes about an hour. And really an hour and a half if I'm being careful. Repairability is definitely something I'll need to address in future versions of the robot. Running into either Mag or Caldera, the two other mid-cutters, was unlikely at this point, based on my position in the bracket, so I elected instead to just trim off the shredded TPU rather than swap the frame. My next fight was against the November tournament winner, Sir Slicey. Sir Slicey is a vertical spinner with 2 angled discs. The bot doesn't run a wedge, so my plan was to jam up the drive after getting enough hits on the front. No avoiding the weapon required.
The young builder, an impressive, I think the
5,
youngest
4,
dumpster winner
3, 2, 1.
Fight,
And
robots,
away
fight.
we go. Radix going flying after that exchange. Once, twice. Let's see if they can make it 3 times. Evan Dimji trying hard to make this. There it is. An excellent hit on Radix.
Radix coming in 18 seed here.
Oh, that hurt. That looked like Sir Slicey drove straight up the wall.
I don't know how that happened. I have to see a replay of that one. That was ridiculous.
Sir Slicey has a really incredible vertical spinner, kind of angled spinning discs, does an incredible job.
Radix using their unstick there. You can see on the screen the little X disappearing next to their name. That means they have none left.
Look at the armor, look at the battery! It's still driving, but its heart is literally on its sleeve!
Disemboweled, but will not die. Oh, the battery is high centering them.
Incredible, they could, no, they can't call for an instant. Well, they're able to separate! How did they do that, Adam? How did they do that? In the process, they kicked loose their battery. The batteries are dislocated. Look, the battery's on the other side of the arena.
They must have spun up. It disconnected.
So that was a match. I got rocked. Internally, the bot was fine until ejecting the battery. However, my armor was shredded. Once my aluminum top and bottom plates started coming off, it was all over. Evan did a great job hitting the rear of my bot repeatedly. He exploited most of my driving mistakes. However, there were some openings that I gave him that weren't necessarily driving related. One side of the drive went out about midway through the match and led to a series of blows that put me up on the rail, and this was the final nail in the coffin. My theory is that some debris got jammed in the TPU gear. To fix this in the future, I'm going to make the gears smaller themselves and also give them a smaller pitch. While going 0-2 is not a great result, I was really happy with how Radix performed. The drive is clearly better, and let me react in situations where the older version of the robot would have just been too slow. I'll need to go back to the drawing board and come up with some new armor to deal with horizontal spinners and do something to increase my drive reliability. However, I would say Radix outperformed my expectations. I knew I was coming in with a ton of changes, and I was putting Radix up against 27 of the best 3-pound robots in the world. I knew things could get ugly. That being said, I think 90% of the changes I made led to noticeable improvements that I want to build in. The other 10% that got worse cost me my fights. But that's how it goes. Untested changes lead to unexpected results. Moving forward, I'll address these issues, and I'll see you guys in the next one.